I have put the picture of my mom and my dad out, and I really want all of you to look at both of them, especially her. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a little girl who was deeply inspired by the great love of a great mother called Leela. And yes, Leela was my mom. Leela in Sanskrit means divine grace. And she was really the Queen of Hearts. She was a brilliant psychologist, and more importantly, she was deeply spiritual, and she was my first guru. She told me several things, but most of all, she said to me, baby, you have to be true to yourself. And when you are true to yourself, you're beautiful, you're brilliant, and you are a blessing to everyone who comes in contact with you. And she said, when you're true to yourself, you are unstoppable. She was petite, she was pretty, she was fair complexioned, and she had long, luxurious hair. She had the most amazing pair of eyes. They were smoky black, surrounded by blue, cobalt, deep blue rings. She was a picture of health, and she enjoyed sports and swimming, and she had the distinction of being the first female to represent her state in an advanced degree in physical education at Madras, the faraway state in South India. She had absolutely no idea that anything was wrong with her, until a fateful day when a cardiologist visited us for a party. Dr. C.R.R. Pillai is a brilliant cardiologist, and he was a dear friend of my dad, and he had come to our home for this function. I was 5 years old. My father was my hero, and yes, I was his princess. And he would introduce me to all his friends, especially the doctors, because he knew how fascinated I was with both the doctors and with medicine. So, as usual, he introduced me to Dr. Pillai. Dr. Pillai looked at me and he said, baby, that's what they all call me, can you sing a song? And you know what, I readily obliged. And he was so impressed with the fact that I was so fearless in that big crowd singing. And also he loved my voice, which was very sweet. So now he said, this is a stethoscope. He had a stethoscope with him. And he took the stethoscope and he said to me, baby, do you want to listen to the music of the heart? And I said, yes. And then he turned around and he said, I need a volunteer. And my mom, Leela, was standing right there, and she readily obliged. So he took the earpiece of the stethoscope, he put it into my ear, and he took the chest piece and he put it on my mom's chest. And he said to me, baby, close your eyes, and I really want you to concentrate and listen to the music. So I closed my eyes and I listened to the sound. I actually have pretty good hearing, and that is a prerequisite for someone who really enjoys music. So I was fascinated by the sounds I was hearing. It was a low hum, almost musical, like the continuous running of a machinery. And he looked at me and he said, baby, have you heard? I said, yes. He said, tell me, how did it sound? I did not have the vocabulary to describe what I heard. So I told him, this is what I heard. And he looked at me and he said, are you sure you did not hear lub, dub, lub, dub? And I said, no, I did not hear that. I heard this soft whistling sound. So now he took the stethoscope, he put it in his ears, and he listened to my mom. And he started doing some more maneuvers to listen to her. His face showed a lot of worry now as I was observing him. And he told my dad, Raja, I need to talk to you and Leela privately, in a private room. So we went to a different room, and he said to my dad, the sound that I am hearing is a heart murmur that is pathognomonic of a condition known as congenital aortic stenosis. Now, I was also standing there and listening to this lecture that he was giving my parents. In layman's terms, he described what is getting wrong with my mom. He said that the aorta is the largest artery in the human body, and by a sophisticated system of arteries, it pumps blood all over the body. The mouth of the aorta, which originates in the left ventricle, usually has 3 valves. But in my mom's case, it was narrowed at the mouth, And that is the reason why I was hearing this musical whooshing sound as the blood was flowing through a narrowed, obstructed vessel. And he told my dad, she is so astute. She heard a sound that most of our medical students cannot hear. And he looked at me and he said, you're going to be a great doctor. But that was not in my mind at that time. I was devastated that my mom had a serious heart condition that I had no knowledge about. I started crying and I told him, how can a child live without a mother? That was my question. So then he hugged me. I get choked even now when I think about it. And he said, don't worry, little girl, your mom will be fine and she will live to see your marriage. For some reason in India, getting married is a big deal. So you want your parents to be there when you're getting married. So yes, he was right. My mom lived for me to enter medical school. I had the intelligence to study medicine, and now remember, I was only 16 years old. But I certainly didn't have the maturity to go through medical school. If I did not have my mom to constantly tell me and help me, I could not have withstood the rigor of medical school. It seemed as though she was holding my hand and both of us were going to medical school. She was exalted when I graduated from medical school. And I got married on the 5th day that I finished medical school. And mine was an arranged marriage, and by God, I'll tell you that story on another time. And I was going to come to faraway America. And in those days, America was really far. No internet, no cell phone, no method of communication, just by letters or by seeing each other. So my father promised my mom that he would bring her to see me every year. And what happened is, he did keep a promise. The first time she visited, my baby boy was born. And she not only influenced me, but she influenced my little boy. That's another story for another day. And the last time that she came, I just knew at San Francisco International Airport that this was the last time I was going to see her alive. I have told all of you that I'm deeply intuitive and I get whispers from my soul, and generally they come out true. So I was standing there and I was looking at her. She looked so young, so beautiful in her peach-colored sari with jasmine flowers in her hair. And I just couldn't control myself. I started crying and I just held her tightly. And I think at that moment she knew that something was wrong. And she sensed it, that there was something wrong. She held me and she said, baby, I want to tell you something. Set your priorities right. Your most important priority is your baby, your husband, and only then comes medicine. Life is too short to wake up with regrets. Love those who love you and forget about those who don't love you. Life is not fair, but believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you're unstoppable. And life is not fair, but sweetheart, it is worth it. And then she hugged me and she said, what does a mother mean to you? And I said, unconditional love. And she looked at me and she said, where is the love? And I showed my heart. And I said, my heart. And she said, I'm always in your heart. I'm always there to guide you and to protect you. She turned around and disappeared into the aircraft. That was the last time I saw her alive. 3 weeks from that date, she entered the divine light. So I have a message for all of you. And this is something that Leela would want me to tell you. Use your voice to heal people. Use your hands to serve. Use your mind to search for the truth. And use your heart to love and to feel other people's sorrow. Yes, there is only one language, which is the language of the heart. There is only one religion, which is love. So love all and serve all. Thank you.
Thank you.